Oh yeah. What pleasant sounds these are. At least I think so. Oh yeah. That, my friends, is brought to you by Arnold Palmer, featuring ice. Not iced tea, not vanilla ice, but just ice. We're gonna get things crack-a-lackin' here in about 25 seconds? I can't tell time. About 30 seconds. Oh man. Let's get some water. Always hydrate. Let's get some almond palmy. Always pomade. Alright, we're gonna kick it off in about 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and...
Self-Care Solutions, your solution to self-care. This is the app for meditation, so breathe in and out. Very good. Breathe in and breathe out. Excellent. Now, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Keep going. Breathe in, breathe in.
I can't breathe
What?
in anymore.
What was that?
I can't breathe in anymore.
Yes, you can. Just breathe in.
can't breathe in
Yes, you can. Breathe in. Try eating the air. There you go. Eat it. Now, once you're done eating it, hold your breath for 17, 16.
Why are you starting so hot?
What? You made me lose my train of thought. I'll have to start over. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 2, 1. Breathe out. Are you breathing out? I'm gonna have to start over. 17, 16. Hello! Hi. Hello! Hi. Hello! Hi. Hi.
Welcome back to Popcorn Poppin' Live, your weekly movie, TV, and streaming guide. There's too much content in the world and you can't be wasting your time figuring out what to watch. So let me waste my time for you by watching all that looks vaguely interesting and advising you on what's poppin' and what ain't. This week we'll be talking about several television shows and several movies. For sure, let's start with the television shows. There's Bad Monkey. Bad Monkey with Vince Vaughn is about a detective turned restaurant inspector in southern Florida who's pulled into a world of greed and corruption after a tourist finds a severed arm while fishing. This is Vince Vaughn and Michelle Monaghan. Poppin' or ain't? It is fun. It takes place in Florida, and it's very Floridian for sure. A lot of things. I like dark comedy, and this is not that dark besides like finding a severed arm is kind of like serious. That'd be fucking nuts and a lot less funny. I don't remember many dead bodies yet, but the show is entertaining. We get some fun Vince Vaughn quips and improvs. Other characters are okay, just mediocre. You're really watching it for Vince Vaughn. The story unfolding is pretty fun. I think Bill Lawrence produced this. He did. I think he created the show, even though I think it's based off of a book and some shit. I don't know. Think of like small town crime in Florida with Vince Vaughn at the helm, and you get exactly what the show is. It's popping enough for me to continue to watch it. It's not the best thing in the world. It's not the funniest thing in the world. I laugh out loud to each episode. I think they've only released 2 so far. You can catch it weekly on Apple TV Plus Wednesdays. I dig it. It's fun to have Vince Vaughn back, and I think that this is a good format. I wouldn't be a good critic if I didn't shit on the show a little bit. The only shitting I shall do is there's narration in the show to help fill in the gaps and to explain to the audience what's going on. You don't really need the narrator, but it does fill in a lot of empty spots that I think the producers were like, there's too much silence in between the dialogue here, and we're not really liking the music maybe. And in any case, after the first episode, it's fine, but in the second episode, every time you hear him talk, it's like, and then he didn't know what he was in for this day. Like, all right, stop saying that. Like, I felt like he was saying the same thing over and over again. Like, oh, Dave usually knows when he spots trouble, and today was a trouble that he knew when he saw in the car an old flame that he hadn't seen in a long age. And then the scene that follows has all that information without the narration even needed to be. That's my only gripe with it. Besides that, it's a fine show. Next, the Rick and Morty animated anime. I started this. I didn't finish it. It's not terrible. I'm not an anime guy, and it is certainly anime, and I was hoping it would like somehow explain like, hey, we know that there's Rick C-137 or what from, our Rick, but there wasn't much of that from what I paid attention to. I don't know. I wasn't really into it. If you're into it, let me know. If you like anime, this is out now. The first episode anyway. It's on Adult Swim on Thursdays. And yeah, if you love Rick and Morty, this is not a necessity. But if you love anime and you love Rick and Morty, you'll probably love this. It just didn't strike me. But I will finish it sometime soon. Moving on to our spotlight films. First, let's talk a little bit about JackPot with Awkwafina and John Cena. Fun film. It is about, let's read the synopsis, because I thought I could just explain it to you, which I guess I can. It takes place in the near future in downtown Los Angeles, where it is legal for you to enter into a jackpot. And if you are a winner, you have to survive for 24 hours. If you survive for 24 hours, you're a billionaire. Having said that, it's not just walking around having to survive for 24 hours. Everyone's going to try to kill you because whoever kills you gets the jackpot. I think it's a fun-ass idea. I would have liked it more if more people died. It was a lot of like tranquilizing and talk of murder. I remember one death in the movie. And I'm not saying you need death for something like this, but you kind of, I don't know, it helps the stakes continue to be raised. Otherwise, it just feels like a bunch of cartoon characters running in circles that say fuck all the time. That's the thing. This is definitely a rated R film because they say fuck very often. Language is, without borders. It's just there's like zero violence. There is a lot of action, though. It is a fun action comedy. It's super fun. I wish it was funnier. I don't know. John Cena, he usually... Oh, shit. I forgot to start this timer. So instead of 27 minutes, we're going to act like this is 20 minutes, but it's 27. I'm going to try to wrap up the first half of this in 27 minutes. Stop it. There we go. We got it. Anyways. Awkwafina is hit or miss. John Cena has had some misses, but usually they're hits for me with comedy anyway. And I didn't laugh that hard at a lot of scenes. At the end credits, they show a lot of throwaway scenes, a lot of bloopers, a lot of improv, a lot of fun that they should have included in the movie. There was a lot of funny bits in there. There were 7 times where I bursted out laughing. I was like, that's so stupid. Like, that's so funny. You know what's not funny, though? It's Machine Gun Kelly. I'm going to shit on Machine Gun Kelly one more time in this episode, but he's in this and he plays himself. And I do know MGK. I know you're a good actor. I saw you in that show, Roadies, that Cameron Crowe show. I dug it. I dug that before I even knew you were a musician. I did know you're a musician, but I didn't listen to your music. I only like 2 of your songs. I'm not trying to shit on you as an artist. I'm just saying your cameo could have been better in this. The movie was fun, though. It was directed by Paul Feig, who did Simple Favor and Bridesmaids. He also did Ghostbusters Answer the Call. But he also did A Simple Favor and Bridesmaids. And
Fuck. What's that movie with I always do this. Shouldn't be so off topic. Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Paul Feig. Because that movie was really good. The Heat. I love The Heat. The Heat's really, really good. Spy was all right. Anyways, Poppin' or Not, if you're looking for an extremely easy comedy to have on in the background, put on JackPot. Because like I said, there is a lot of action in this. And the action's decent. It's just, it seems like low stakes when no one's dying. When everyone's like, whoa, and gets knocked in the head. It's like, oh, they'll be fine. Anyways, back to trying to kill, even though no one's dying. Yeah. So fun. Just not as fun as I'd like it to be, except if it was on in the background. You can check this out on Prime right now. The other streaming film that came out this week was The Union on Netflix, which unionizes Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry, who have been friends since they were youths, starting up Famous, respectively. Poppin' or Not? Poppin'. It's cool to see Halle Berry whoop some ass again. I love Halle Berry. It's weird that I feel like she's supposed to get not necessarily bigger roles or more work, but I feel like her work should be more popularized more. Because I know she's done a couple things lately. So, yeah, Poppin' or Not, I'm going to say Poppin'. What did I have against it for me to hesitate at saying this so much? Mark Wahlberg wanted to make a New Jersey James Bond. He succeeded. And I wish it was rated R. This is another. I don't know if I'm in the mood for violence so much, but it's all right. It's subpar. This is another movie you can have not. You know what it is? It's a straight to streaming film, and that's what this is. If you want to see Halle Berry again, this is your movie. If you want to see Mark Wahlberg do anything different, it's not your movie. It's not your movie. You've seen Mark Wahlberg do this a bunch. Action's okay. I think I enjoyed this movie more than JackPot, even though JackPot is funnier. It's just JackPot's just constant joke, and then you laugh. Joke, and then you laugh. This movie is action comedy rather than the other thing. But rom-com action. So there you go. You can watch this on Netflix right now. All right, let's get into it. This is why everyone tuned in for. This is what I tuned in for. This is why I got up out of bed this morning. I hopped up out the bed. I turned my swagger on because I wanted to talk about some xenomorphs, all right? But not just any xenomorphs. I want to talk about all the xenomorphs. All the xenomorphs that we've ever seen. No, not the video game, which the new movie talks about. And no, we're not going to start with the new movie. Usually we go in chronological order. And I'll tell you what the list is real quick. It's Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and Alien Romulus, the new film that came out this week. What did I think of the new movie? I will tell you when it comes up because we're going to talk about all of the Xenomorph movies briefly, except for Romulus, which we'll go into a little bit more depth. But we're going to start with my least favorite and work our way up to my favorite. Now, this is the first time we're doing a list like this. So I want to be clear. Whenever I give a top 5 list or a top anything list, I am not saying this forever because I can't. I change my mind too much and I'm like, no, maybe I like this one more. Today I like this one more. This is how I'm rating this list. This list is of the movies and in order of excitement. So when I watched Alien versus Predator Requiem, which is at the number 9 spot, I hated it. I hated my enjoyment of the film. Now, maybe I'll like it more than one of the other movies down the line when I watch them both at the different time. But for my last marathon, which the marathon lasted for like 2 months, but I started rewatching all of these again. And this movie I had never finished, and I finally finished as much as I could. That's what she said. Except you can't, because you can't see anything. This movie's terrible. It is the second Alien versus Predator film. The reason they did it was because Alien versus Predator pissed people off because it was rated PG-13. People didn't want a PG-13 Alien versus Predator movie. And so they'd like, okay, let's make this R-rated one. And you can't see anything. Apparently it was, you can look online. I don't have the story written here. Apparently the cinematographer wanted to try something different, but also he's like, hey, wait, no, we're having issues. the producers thought the first film was a little too lit up, the first AVP. So they're like, hey, let's make the second one darker. That way it's scarier. Yeah, but you can't see a fucking thing. So skip this. Don't even. The only thing that's worth watching about this particular movie is if you see on the left there, it looks like a predator. That ain't a predator. That's a predalien or an alator because it's a hybrid predator / alien. The most interesting thing that happened in Alien versus Predator was it ended with a chest burster out of a xenomorph, and you see a little baby xenomorph, and it opens up with predator fangs. That shit was cool. This was not. Didn't work. Worst of all the xenomorph films. Oh, one thing I will say about this ranking as well. The only difference is that I'm always going to say Alien 1 and Aliens are the top 2 Alien movies of all time. I will always say that. All right. Now, number 8 is Alien 3. David Fincher's Alien 3. Remember David Fincher? He did Fight Club. He did Social Network. He did The Killer, which is on Netflix. Don't watch that one, though. He did Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Game, Seven, Panic Room. One of the best directors of all time. Watch his shit right now. By the way, all the Alien films you can watch on Hulu right now. Anyways, back to Alien 3. Alien 3 was his first film, and it's bad. It's not good. It takes place at a prison. We do have Sigourney Weaver's Ripley back, and you believe it's her last one, but oh boy, it is not. Thank God it's not either, because it's not a good movie. Sigourney Weaver did a lot of help getting David Fincher's name back out there to other studios because she knew that he was a promising director, and the studio's involvement into Alien 3 was so burdensome that it came out with this abomination. It was bad. This was the best scene of the movie that David Fincher actually shot without the studio's approval because he thought it was very important visually. And he was right, because it's one of the most iconic shots in cinema. So props to you for that, David Fincher. But no props whatsoever for the movie. It's bad. It's not a good movie. Did I mention it wasn't good? Yeah, that's why it's number 8. The only reason it's better than AVP Requiem is because it's got Ripley, and you can see what's going on. That's a big plus. Next, number 7, Alien versus Predator. Directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who did the Resident Evils. He did Mortal Kombat 1. He did Death Race, and he did Event Horizon. Surely he could do a horror movie, and definitely he can do a fun PG-13 horror film. If you look at that list, it's very easy to see that he was able to accomplish that. This was barely fun. It was fun in the Paul W.S. Anderson fashion, but when it comes to the actual fighting between the aliens and Predator, there's like 1 or 2 of them. It wasn't, it was lackluster for me anyways. I didn't think it was that badass. The only badass part about it was this scene in particular, where someone's head gets chopped off in this scene. I don't want to ruin it for you. Pop it or not, the only thing that's popping about it is this gal right here. I love Sanaa Lathan. Even though I can never pronounce her name, she is dope. And I do like the team up. It's just, and I like the scarring. The Predator aspects are better in this. But the storyline is so goddamn stupid. It makes no sense. So if you really don't need to see either the Alien versus Predators at all. Alien 3, you still do kind of have to see in order to understand the rest of the saga. Only a little bit, though, specifically Resurrection, but we'll get to that later. Number 6, Aliens. Again, Aliens, to me, in life, is the second best Alien film ever. And by Alien, I mean Xenomorph film. This is the second best Xenomorph movie ever. But Tony, why does it say number 6? It says number 6 because we're getting into like the enjoyable bit of watching all of these movies. And as enjoyable as this last time was watching this, it is an enjoyable movie. It's just I've seen it 722,000 times. I've seen it so many times. I love the second half more than the first half because I've seen the first half so many times. It's still an amazing accomplishment. The way that James Cameron, Titanic, Avatar, James Cameron did this. Remember that. The way that he decided to make a horror movie and a more popcorny, fun action horror movie that's actually a lot scarier because there's way more aliens and there's a fucking queen. just props to him. He did an excellent job. And we got a way more badass Ripley. We had one of the first badass female leads, especially final girls ever. So this is an iconic film. It's just lower on the list because I've seen it so many times. And also, I wanted to talk about certain things early before other movies. Number 5 is Alien. Again, this is the best Alien movie, but it's lower because I've seen it so many times. So here's the difference between Alien 1 and Alien 2. Alien 1 is a slow burn horror film. It is a space movie first. Alien and Aliens are space movies first, and then horror second. And this movie, the horror is brought on so much later in the film. It's so quiet. The sets are magnificent. The mystery of what's going on is really, really fucking palpitating. The mystery is palpitating because you don't know what's going on, except it's in the future. They're answering this call. They're trying to go investigate. Every good Alien film has a few things. And this and Aliens and the rest that I'm going to mention have these things. So what makes a good xenomorph film? You don't show the scary for a good long time. The main group arrives to the aftermath of an alien disaster, and the audience doesn't know what happened earlier. We are always surprised at who the android is, who the robot is of the crew. In Alien, you don't know that androids exist. I don't think they ever discussed it until happens. And when that shit happens, what's happening? But every good Alien movie has someone on the crew that is an android that is kind of surprising. It may be revealed early on, or it's revealed way later. Aliens, it wasn't really a surprise, so we're going to start talking about it now anyways. And the end of the movie will always end with a final log note from the main protagonist, in this case, Ripley. It's always got to be a great space movie, I'm telling you. So this is number 5, but only because I've seen it 1,000 times. It is number 1, though. Now, legit number 4. Alien Covenant. This was the last new one besides Romulus, which is in theaters right now. This was directed by Ridley Scott, just like the original. This was the second time. This is the 3rd Alien film that he came back for after Prometheus. I should have started talking about Prometheus first, but we're going to talk about this right now because we're ranking them. So why did I like this movie? Well, you can't go wrong with Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston. That's right. Kenny Powers himself is in this. He's pretty good in it too, actually. I'm not going to lie. I liked him. I thought he was very good. And no, you can't go wrong with this cast. You can't go wrong almost. This is where the movie really, really took a dive. There are 2 Michael Fassbenders in this as opposed to Prometheus's 1, where you have Walter and David. Now, the cinematography of this scene is actually extremely impressive, but the sexual tension is so weird. And it's not weird like, whoa, what? Because they're 2 dudes? No, they're 2 like of the same person. It just seems like it's Ridley Scott wanting to see Michael Fassbender fuck Michael Fassbender. It's a weird scene. It's very strange. Check it out. Now, what else did I love about this movie watching it this time? Well, this movie made me scream, specifically at this part. I'm talking, I did that in the living room, in the other room, whilst watching this, specifically at this scene, probably like 5 seconds away from what happens right there. It's crazy. Carmen Ejogo, I probably pronounced your name wrong. I'm sorry. I love you, Carmen. She's great in this movie. Not in it long enough. Maybe she doesn't die. Maybe she escapes very quickly. Yeah. Billy Crudup's in it. I like Billy Crudup. They do some changes and they do some surprises. Like how the alien comes out of this guy is surprising. And it's a good, like, what if we did it this way? Like, oh, wow, holy shit, that's scary as fuck. It's scary. And the aliens are a little too fast in it. But besides that, What didn't I dig? It's in comparison to Prometheus. The only reason that they made this one is because they wanted to make Ridley Scott was only interested in coming back to make another Alien movie. If only it was a good story. It was set in the same universe, and they didn't show any xenomorphs. Really fucking stupid. Very stupid. Almost. So it wasn't, Prometheus was not met with good reception, even though I will tell you the positives of it. I understand the negative reception. It's like, we want to go see an alien movie. Why are you not showing us the aliens? So the second one, in Prometheus, the story and the sets, it being a space movie, it's fucking glorious. The visuals that you see. In Alien Covenant, I'm not saying there aren't excellent visuals, but it seemed a lot more rushed compared to the first one because they really want to get to showing you the face huggers and the aliens. So that was kind of a bummer. And it is a bummer that this movie had such a big cliffhanger that you don't really know whatever happened. And as far as I know, Romulus does not explain it. I'll tell you what timeline it takes place, but it's not after Covenant. Well, technically it is after Covenant. All right. Next, speaking of Prometheus. This is the most interesting story. That's why it gets number 3. Outside of it being a good xenomorph movie, because it's not a good xenomorph movie. I mean, it kind of is. It ticks the boxes, though. It doesn't show the scary for a long time. The main group arrives to the aftermath of an alien disaster, and the audience doesn't know what happened before. We're not surprised who the android is, but the end does end with a final log note from the protagonist, and it is an excellent space movie. The question is, where do xenomorphs come from? From the writer's standpoint, like that's how the idea starts. But what the movie's really about is, where do we come from? And we technically come from the same place with two very different reasonings, kind of. I don't know. It's strange, but it's fucking sick. I thought it was a really cool way to delve into who we are and who the gods could be and what makes God and what makes, if we create a robot, is a robot a god if we're not gods? Like it's a really cool way of looking at what does it all mean type of thing. So I thought it was really, really cool. If you're looking for a xenomorph movie, don't watch it, because the worst parts about this movie are the very end where you see this one. Bad taste in my mouth. And you see, okay, I didn't put it down. You see a face hugger, and I won't show you what it looks like because it's kind of a spoiler. But it just, I was like, I don't like this. This is weird. Don't do this. Just walk away from it completely. Another reason why this is number 3. One of the best scenes in cinema. I said it. Very dumb characters, but I bought it, and it starts off light, and it ends horrifically. So watch this. Watch it. Watch Prometheus, then watch Alien Covenant if you're going to watch Alien, Aliens, Prometheus, and Alien Covenant. So this was number 3. What was number 2? Alien Resurrection. The most fun alien movie out of all of them. Aliens is fun. Alien is not fun. Alien Resurrection is everything you want from, it's like watching Jason, when Jason comes back. What's that movie called? It's after New Blood. Is it just Jason's Back? What the fuck is it called? Come on. This is ridiculous. Why can't you just show me a list? Well, Tony, maybe you should have been better prepared. I didn't know I'd have this comparison. It's not Jason Goes to Hell. What the fuck? What is it? Is it Takes Manhattan? Oh, it is Takes Manhattan. I should have known that. I should have known that off the dome. That's my fault. Anyways, Alien Resurrection is the Jason Takes Manhattan of alien movies. How so, you say? Well, Ripley, you think is dead. She comes back after Alien 3. This is the 4th Alien movie, by the way. You got a ragtag team of people that's super fun. It's not just Ripley. It's a team of people that are like kind of badass, except for Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder's really good in it. It's cool to see a young Winona Ryder again. It's cool to see an older Winona Ryder as well. Don't get me wrong, but young Winona Ryder's fun. And her character is dope. You don't see why she's in the movie until later, and it got me. It got me good. Yeah, it's super fun. It's a super fun movie. It gets crazier and crazier and crazier. I love the basketball shot that Sigourney Weaver actually did behind the back. And it was like take like 89 or something. Apparently, the urban legend, it was the first take. It wasn't the first take. Ron Perlman's in it. This was directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who did Amelie, very famous movie. Big Bug, which I told you to watch on Netflix. Micmacs, a very long engagement. City of Lost Children, and Delicatessen. So he is a French director. The only movies that are absolutely worth seeing are really just Amelie is what I can say, like without a doubt. But Big Bug wasn't well received. None of these are horror movies. City of Lost Children's kind of horror-esque. Big Bug kind of is. All right, anyways. Alien Resurrection. It is the most fun movie. I love it. I kind of want it to be number one. It's just, this thing was really weird. This was too weird. I was like, all right, this is too much. Too much. But too much in a good way, too. Like, almost, yes, much. Not too much. One much, in fact. You can check this out on Hulu as well, along with all of these. So, Tony, you talked about all these movies, but you didn't talk about Alien Romulus. Why didn't you talk about Alien Romulus? Because it's number one. Why is it number one? Again, this is not better than Aliens. It's not better than Alien. I will say, yeah, it's better than Prometheus. It's better than Alien Resurrection. It's better than all the Alien movies besides Aliens and Alien 1. So this is really number 3, but this was the most enjoyable experience of watching the saga that I have had in this sitting. So let's start with the facehuggers. Alien Romulus, I was scared that it was going to be Alien Facehugger City or Facehugger City Romulus. There's nothing wrong with how much facehugger stuff they did in this. It's just they did a lot of facehugger stuff. There was so much facehuggers that I was nervous that we weren't going to see a full-size xenomorph until the very end of the movie. And that would have bummed me out because I wanted to see xenomorphs. However, they slowed down a little bit midway through. They brought them back again, and they deserve as big of an participation on screen as Fede Alvarez did for this film, because they are fucking scary. They're the scariest thing in the world. I would rather acid fall on me than get face fucked by that. Gross. Face fucked almost by anything, but specifically that. No, thank you. Now, we go to what makes a good xenomorph movie. Well, we don't show scary for a good long time, which is really, really cool. We know what the movie's about. The timeline-wise, it takes place between Alien and Aliens. In Aliens, Ripley wakes up after 50 years of cryosleep, and Weyland Yutani is like, I bet you crazy. That didn't happen to you. And she's like, no, I'm going back to Earth. And they're like, well, hold on. So look, can you come with us to that planet that has all those scary beings that you heard about? She's like, no, why would I do that? They're like, well, there was a city of terraforming people, but we can't get a hold of them. It takes place in the beginning anyway on that planet. So the planet from the first movie, which is very rare. We haven't done that in a very long time. And this is the main group. This is the main 2 people. Very good pairing. I don't know how much I should say. Kaylee Spaney is a good, like, sub Ripley. Her and Catherine Waterston do a good job. I think I might like Kaylee more, honestly. This is Kaylee. She was in Priscilla, Devs. What's that war movie? Civil War, which I didn't like too much. And I don't know, a thing or two more. Anyways, the main group arrives to the aftermath of an alien disaster. They show up to a ship that has a connection with Alien, the original. I won't tell you how. The action doesn't start for a very long time into the movie. Super dope. We discover certain things about whoever the android is, and the way they did the android in this film is almost my favorite. I think that as weird as Michael Fassbender is in Alien Covenant, his David, not metaphorically. Oh, good thing we had this. That means we got to wrap this up. Not metaphorically speaking, Michael Fassbender's David was pretty dope. Except just too much, like, you have to finger the hole when he's talking about flutes in Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant's weird. Anyways, the android in this goes through hell of a lot of different emotions, and it's cool. They did a very good job with it, and you 1,000% believe that he is, or she is, or they are an android. Okay, so we got the cast here. We had a good use of scary acid from our alien. It's weird. I think that acid isn't used correctly in like the middle films very well. It's kind of like, in this, it's done very well a couple times, specifically one part that goes into someone's chest. I won't give away too much, but that person dies. And it's like, shit, that's a terrible way to die. There is a lot of like staring death, but I think you would be like as well. I think you would. This is also an excellent space movie. An excellent space movie. One of my favorite space movies. There's a ring around a planet. I don't want to get too much into it, but if you saw the movie, you know what ring I'm talking about. And they did it really, really cool. The way they showed space in general was really visually stunning. And the reason I was very surprised by that is because Fede Alvarez had only done, he did one movie that I hadn't seen, but he did The Evil Dead, which is the first remake of Evil Dead, which I didn't love, but I respected. I thought he did a good job with his version. I wanted a different version, but whatever. He did a good job. Don't Breathe is excellent, but both aren't space movies. So I was thinking this movie wouldn't be that much of a space movie. I was wrong. They did excellent work. So they checked off that box as well. The xenomorph, the full-grown xenomorph in this, good drool xenomorph from Alien Romulus. Very good job. I think you need to do a good drool when it comes to a xenomorph, and they knocked it out of the park. You learn an interesting new thing about face huggers in the quiet and having to do with body temperature, which I won't get into, but I thought that was a cool new thing to introduce. Once I saw a certain character in the condition that they were in that involves being maybe a little fatter than usual, I knew that they were going to introduce a new type of alien, which I'll get into in a second. The movie would have been perfect. I didn't give you the rating. So it's number 1, so you can tell it's going to be a large popcorn. I'm giving it a large popcorn with butter. Is that 100%? Almost. I still give it 100. It's basically 100%. It is me telling you it's poppin'. It's a large popcorn and it has butter. It's got the salt. You can put some cheddar on it if you want, but if you do, don't put it on mine. This is my popcorn. Don't fuck with it. I only like salt and butter. I'm a classic guy. It could be a bucket too. Doesn't have to be a dune or a xenomorph. Anyways, this is the first time we've ever given a film this rating when it's a new film. So props to you, Alien Romulus. We got to put you on a board. Someone make a board for me. There are small caveats to this movie and why I won't call it one of my perfect films. The final scene of the final like scene of the movie is like the last 10-15 minutes of the movie. Basically, the movie's over. Everyone's about to go into cryo sleep, and then they discover something. And then the movie goes on for another 12 minutes. Entirely unneeded. And it isn't your classic xenomorph. I was okay with it because I had considered the movie already over. So I was like, all right, let's see what this is. It just didn't feel like you were watching an alien movie anymore. And by alien, I mean a xenomorph movie. It looked like you were watching a Slender Man type movie. It was a weird creature. I didn't hate it. I was just kind of like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. How would I had fixed it? How would the great almighty Popcorn Poppy fixed it? Made it second to last villain, and then have the classic xenomorph be the main villain. Apparently, the designs of this villain that I'm being very vague about was in the original film. You can read about it on IMDb, but they just never. I think they made designs of it, but they just never filmed it. So I think that that's kind of cool if they try to go back to the roots. I didn't care for it. Now, the only other thing I didn't care for was, what is it? Oh, the cast are a bunch of young 20-somethings, which is a good cast of characters for a horror movie. A Cabin in the Woods usually is about like grown young adults, barely grown young adults go like, oh, let's go get drunk in a cabin and have promiscuous sex. Like, that's usually what you see in a horror movie. And you don't see it with Alien that often. You see usually older people in their early 40s, late 30s, which I'm not being ageist because it's not my group, but I guess I am being ageist when I say I didn't give a fuck what happened to any character in this movie. I didn't care from beginning to end. I was never like chomping at the bits because I didn't care who lived or died. I like Kaylee Spaney just fine. Her character's not a terrible person or anything. I think because they were young, I didn't care. How could have they fixed this? And this is something they don't need to fix. Just like the weird bonus scene that I'm saying at the end. All they could have done is did that second to last, but the fact that they did it last made me think like, okay, this is all just bonus, baby. Who cares? So that's fine. This is fine because it didn't take away from the movie. I wasn't like, I wish they were older. I was just like, I don't care about anyone. I don't know. So I was okay with that decision. The only bonus thing I could have asked for was, this is the spoiler that I'm describing. This isn't the spoiler yet. I am going to describe something that does not happen in the movie. Ready? Here's the spoiler. There isn't an alien queen in this. That's the only other thing that could have made this movie better for me. But I'm okay with it not being in here. So, Poppin', go see it. Go see it in theaters. I loved this movie so much. It's worth mentioning that Roxy gave it a medium popcorn with butter. So, I think that's a B+, I believe. Which is still a really good score. If I'm not giving it a letter. All right. It's in the A's. That's all you need to know. Is it A+? No, I think A+ would be perfect. It's probably a solid A though. I loved it. I thought Fede Alvarez knew his universe. He referenced the universe excellently. He didn't take too many big liberties, and the liberties that he did take didn't overstep. He brought back a character using face. All right, one thing. I won't say who the character is, but they bring back a character using that face shit, that like Irishman or Carrie Fisher, shit like that. We're still not there. Hollywood, stop trying to do it. But I was okay with it in this movie because the way that they used that character pertaining to the plot worked. I loved it. And if there is any character that you would do in cinema for this face shit, it should be that. And it's a good reflection of our time. I can't go into too many details without spoiling, but if you've seen the movie or if you're okay with spoilers, message me and I'll let you know what I'm talking about. So go see this in theaters. Definitely watch all the Alien movies first before this. Skip Alien versus Predator 1 and 2. Just don't watch them. Trust me, don't watch them. Go on Hulu, watch Alien, then Aliens, then Alien 3, then Alien Resurrection, then Prometheus, then Alien Covenant. Remember that Alien Covenant made me scream, and then go check out Romulus in theaters right now. Let's go to the news.
Deadpool and Wolverine take the #1 spot for the biggest R-rated movie worldwide ever. Knocking out Joker out of the park. How much money do you think they made? I'm going to tell you. $1.086 billion. The breakdown is $516.8 million from domestic and $568.8 million internationally. So, would Halle Berry's Storm have been in this? There's a lot of cameos from different superheroes that we haven't seen in a while. One of them was not Halle Berry. And she was asked, I think on the Tonight Show, would you have come back as Storm? And she said, yeah. Blake Lively asked me one time. I ran into her at a Marc Jacobs fashion show. And she said, would you ever be, excuse me, would you ever be in my husband's movie as Storm? I said, yeah, if he asked me, but he never asked me. So that's why she wasn't in it. Kind of wish Catwoman was in it instead. Nicolas Cage is going to play John Madden in David O. Russell's directed Madden. If you don't know who Madden is, I barely do, and I might be wrong about a few things. I think he was a coach. I don't know how good he was, but I do know, like, he, according to, like, shit that you read online after this news came out, that Madden's, like, career was revitalized and became a gajillionaire because of the, maybe not a gajillionaire, probably a gajillionaire, because of the Madden video games. So I am actually interested in that story. I don't know anything about John Madden as well. I enjoy Nicolas Cage, but like when movies like Longlegs or this come out, I'm like, I'm kind of hesitant. I will say I was super sick the past week. I watched a lot of movies. We're not going to talk about all of them, but one of them was Pig, which is Nicolas Cage's favorite Nicolas Cage movie. And it's pretty good. It's not my favorite. However, that's like one of my favorite Nicolas Cage rules because he's restrained. Restrain yourself, Nicolas Cage, but also be crazy sometimes too. Restrain yourself in Longlegs. That's what you should have did. Anyways, David O. Russell's doing this biopic Madden, which I don't know how that's going to go. I wouldn't be surprised if Nicolas Cage left this project because David O. Russell is a very difficult director to work with. Look up videos of him directing I Heart Huckabees with Mark Wahlberg. And also look up the story with him and George Clooney for Three Kings. Having said that, he is a great director. I don't know if he's a great director. He produces great products. Things are good after he directs them. Like The Fighter, which you can watch on Pluto, that stars Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg. Three Kings, which you can rent, but that's with Ice Cube, George Clooney, and Mark Wahlberg. And Silver Linings Playbook with Mark Wahlberg, JK. Silver Linings Playbook you can watch on Max. That's with what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro. So will this pop? I don't know. Victoria Newman from The Boys, aka Claudia Dumit, is joining Soulmates, which is in the Megan universe. Soulmate is the new movie. It's basically a robot made for love. I think this movie is going to make a lot more money than Megan. Henry Selick. A lot of people think that Tim Burton directed Nightmare Before. Fuck. Shouldn't have drank Arnold Palmer. Apparently it makes me get hiccups. As he takes another swig. Henry Selick directed Nightmare Before Christmas, not Tim Burton. I know it's called Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's because he produced it. And to have your name in front of something, it helps people buy more tickets. Just like Quentin Tarantino presents Hostel. He didn't direct Hostel. Anyways, Henry Selick, he did Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Coraline, Monkey Bone. I don't care for Monkey Bone, but I know Kane likes it. And I know I'm forgetting another one, whatever. So he did those movies, and if you look very, very carefully, you might find that there's some image of Jack in every other film I've made. But I can't legally say that's true, but it might be true. So watch all of Henry Selick's films, and you may see Jack Skellington in the background. Nightmare Before Christmas is on, and James and the Giant Peach are on Disney Plus. Coraline, you have to rent.
Millie Bobby Brown is adapting her own book. You may not have known this because I didn't. She is a best-selling novelist after drawing experiences of her grandmother in a book. Sorry. She wrote a novel. It's about a World War II person, and it's based off of her own grandmother's stories, apparently. Her and Kathleen McGruel wrote this story that follows Nellie Morris, an 18-year-old girl living in the East London neighborhood of Bethnal Green. Over the course of the book, Nellie navigates the challenges of wartime life, including the threat of bombings, rationing, and the emotional turmoil of being separated from loved ones. Blah, 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 blah. You get it. I just think it's really, first of all, I really respect Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's fucking crushing it. I really love Enola Holmes too. I thought it was so good. And the fact that she produced it's even better. And Damsel was really good too. And I don't know, man, when I see a young actor making cool moves like this, because she's navigating her child's stardom correctly by producing, writing a book, and now adapting that very same book, where I'm sure she's going to be producing, but she's probably going to try starring in too. If it's about an 18-year-old, she still looks 18, so she's got baby face. It'll work. Next, Secret Level. I'm excited for this. Actually, the teaser trailer dropped today before I knew. I did know I was going to talk about this, but this didn't happen. I knew about it, but I didn't know about the trailer. Secret Level. If you're a fan of Love, Death, and Robots, then get ready for Love, Death, and Video Games, because Secret Level are episodes based on short stories, video game, and oh my god, dude, what is happening? It consists of original short stories which are set within the world of beloved video games. If you look at the trailer, it'll show at the end like a bunch of video game companies. One of them is Sony or PlayStation. And I don't recognize, at least in this picture, anything except the first one's Pac-Man, obviously. And the second one, that might be Nathan Drake from Uncharted. I'm not positive, though. The rest, I'm not sure. And I'm 98% sure that I saw Kratos from God of War as well. So, the guys who worked on Love, Death, and Robots, I don't think David Fincher, but Tim Miller, who worked on DeadPool, he is working on this show too. So I think it'll be pretty dope. I don't know when it's coming out, but it will be on Prime. Brewster's Millions Christmas follows Morgan Brewster as she embarks on a unique and challenging journey to inherit her Uncle Montgomery's fortune before Christmas. This will be on BET Plus December 5th. I don't know. The trailer didn't come out yet, so it might not be good. However, I like Brewster's Millions, so I might watch that. The Gentleman has been renewed for season 2. Brad Kane will run Crystal Lake, the miniseries that previously had Brian. The fuck is his name? Shit, I can't believe I forgot his name. Brian Fuller. Brian Fuller was originally the showrunner of Crystal Lake. Now they got Brad Kane, who has worked on Tokyo Vice, Warrior, Lodge 49, Black Sails, and Fringe. We'll see how he does with this. Michaela Coen is now working on her next show called First Day on Earth. Sadly, I thought it was about an alien. I thought that'd be dope. I have not watched her previous work besides Black Panther 2 and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It was just one episode, but still. I think she is in a couple other things that I have watched, but I have not watched Chewing Gum or I May Destroy You, but I hear that they're excellent, specifically I May Destroy You. So I'm excited for this show. This one's about British novelist Henry, who is stuck. Work is dried up. Her relationship is going nowhere. When she's offered a job on a film in Ghana, West Africa, her parents' homeland where her estranged father lives, she can't resist the chance to reconnect with him and the country of her heritage. But when she arrives, neither the job nor her father turn out how she expected. And yeah, it just goes on and on after that. This will be on HBO. You can check out Chewing Gum and I May Destroy You on Max as well. Next, you're going to see advertisements for The Office, new episodes of The Office. Calm down. It's The Office Australia. As you know, our Steve Carell Office was not the original Office. UK, David Brent, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, The Office was the original. 11 countries made their own versions of The Office, including us and including Australia. This one will be on Prime Video. If you want to watch the US version, the good one, sincerely, way better than the UK version, watch Steve Carell on Peacock. Pacific Rim, I actually like those movies a lot. Both of them. One was done by Guillermo del Toro, who wanted to do a Godzilla movie, and he couldn't, so he did this instead. That'd be super dope if he did Godzilla, though. Hey, he should do the next Godzilla movie. Anyways, they're doing a prequel series. That's all you need to know for that. And they're making a television version of The Rainmaker, which will star John Slattery, who's Sterling. God, what the fuck? Roger Sterling in Mad Men. I should have had a picture of him, but I didn't. But he's going to be playing the Rainmaker, apparently. I'm excited. And he's not going to play the Rainmaker. He's got to play the bad guy. Yeah, he's playing the John Voight character. Okay. If you haven't seen the original Rainmaker, you can watch it on Sling for free and Paramount Plus. Yeah. All right. So what I'm watching right now is Industry, which is on Max Sundays. We talked about it at length. Lady in the Lake, which is on Apple TV Plus on Fridays. I think that this is done. I'm just behind. I don't know why I didn't finish it yet, but yeah, I think it's only got 1 or 2 episodes left. It's a mini series, but you can check out all the episodes that I know of on Apple TV Plus. Honorable mentions of things that came out this week that I had not had a chance to see that you can watch if you'd like. Matt Rife's Lucid, which is the new crowd work special, is on Netflix right now. The Tyrant is on Hulu. Rob Peace is in theaters. Skincare is in theaters. My Penguin Friend is in theaters. Bel Air is on Peacock. And Emily in Paris Season 4 Part 1 is on Netflix. Part 2 on September 12th. What is coming out this week that I might want to see? Maybe you want to see? You're definitely going to ask me what I think is going to be. Will the Crow pop or caw? That's right. In this modern reimagining of the 1994 classic, The Crow, soulmates, Eric and Shelley are brutally murdered. Given a chance to save her, Eric must sacrifice himself and transverse the worlds of the living and the dead seeking revenge. The last time I watched Brandon Lee's The Crow, I thought it was a bad movie. I was like, why is this so popular? It's a weird movie. It's a weird movie. Now, that was like 10 plus years ago. And when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I love The Crow. Mostly because everyone else said they loved The Crow. But I was like, what is it about The Crow that everyone loves? When I watched this trailer, I'm intrigued. I like Bill Skarsgård. I do. He's the Pennywise the Clown. There are things about this movie that look good. Him, not necessarily. He looks like Machine Gun Kelly in makeup, which is Machine Gun Kelly, basically. They should have just got Machine Gun Kelly. If they would have gotten Machine Gun Kelly, however, I wouldn't have watched the movie. I'm wondering if this was offered to Machine Gun Kelly. Watch the trailer. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, FKA Twigs is in this. I like her in the music video that, what's his name directed? Spike Jonze. Who? Spike Jonze. Will the Crow pop or caw? I think it'll be popping enough to be called entertaining. I think it'll be popping enough for me to say, you guys should really go see this movie because it's fucking nuts. I just think that everyone's going to hate it because no one wants this movie to happen because Brandon Lee's dead. So they're like, you can't remake this movie. Even though I'm going to rewatch the first one, probably to not, I'm not going to, I'm going to go to sleep right after this. But I'm going to rewatch it and I'm going to be like, yeah, you can totally remake this movie. It's fucking weird. So yeah, I think it'll be okay. I just don't know if it'll be necessarily good. Will Blink Twice pop or blind when tech billionaire Slater King, played by Channing Tatum, meets cocktail waitress Frida, played by Naomi Ackie. At his fundraising gala, he invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on his private island. As strange things start to happen, Frida questions her reality. This is co-written and directed by Zoe Kravitz. Great actress. Never directed before. I watched 30 seconds of this trailer and I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. This looks fun. The only thing that makes me nervous is this is the marketing. This is it. It stars this whole human being that's not in anything that I've been seeing. I know she's in the trailer, but like this is all I've seen. So Poppin or not, I think it'll be fun. From what I've seen, it seems like a fun dark comedy. But will it be good? It'll be goodish. I think I'll say, yeah, I'll need to see it in theaters, but you definitely should watch it on streaming. Other things that are out in theaters this week is Strange Darling. Nothing is what it seems when a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. This actually looks very good. Check out the trailer. I think it will pop. I don't think I'll have time to go see it because I'll be seeing the other two. I really want to see this, but this seems like more of a streaming wait. Or if not, 7,000 things came out this week, I'd go see it. Follows the greedy people follows the residents of small town who must navigate a sensational murder and the discovery of $1 million. A series of increasingly bad decisions upend the once peaceful community. My boy Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it, so you know I'm going to watch it. So is Hamish Patel. This is in select theaters Thursday. Between the Temples stars Jason Schwartzman and Carol Kane. A cancer and crisis of faith finds his world turned upside down when his grade school music teacher re-enters his life as his new adult bat mitzvah student. I'd say if you like Wes Anderson movies or maybe just Jewish comedies, this looks like it's up our alley. I'm not saying our alley like I am Jewish, but I like Jewish comedies. And I like Jason Schwartzman. Yeah, it looks all right. I won't see it in theaters, though. All right. Fuck, last one. Oh, this looks good. Again, I don't want to see this in theaters, though. Erin Moriarty from The Boys. I'm excited for her for this. Erin Moriarty and Jay Country star in this very No Country for Old Men look-alike film about as Gina decides to leave her criminal husband Clyde and their isolated Texas hideout, a couple from New York arrive. Ignoring the risks, she convinces Clyde to let them stay, a decision that leads to dangerous consequences for everyone. This is in select theaters Thursday. I think it'll be good. All right, streaming-wise, will the killer pop or be murdered? Will it be good or will it be bad? Nathalie Emmanuel and Omar Sy starring John Woo's The Killer. This is a remake of an older John Woo film starring Chow Yun-fat, which I cannot find where it streams. I can't even find where you can rent it. So I think I'm going to fucking bootleg the thing because I love her. Remember her from Game of Thrones? I do. Remember her from Fast and Furious, and she's severely underused, but thank God she's still in the movies because I really still like her. I do. Remember The Invitation? Did I already ask that? Well, I do. No, I didn't say that. The Invitation is really good. I think it's on Netflix right now. Anyways, when a feared contract killer refuses to murder a young blind woman on the orders of her handler, she finds herself hunted by old colleagues, a determined detective. I'm interested to see a director direct a reboot of a film that they originally directed. Sometimes it works. A lot of times it's questionable. This could work, but who knows? I never saw the original, so I'm excited to rewatch the original if I can find it. This will be on Peacock Friday. Other things that are streaming this week, I will watch this. It's called Incoming. It's written and directed by the Sherman brothers, who worked on Always Sunny in a shit ton of Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes. And the Mick, their first week of high school, the biggest party of the year. Mistakes will be made as four teenage boys navigate a night of mayhem and debauchery. You know, one of those high school movies that we don't see anymore. Could be fun. Should be good. We'll see. It's on Netflix. Friday? I actually don't have it here. No, it is on Netflix Friday. I know. I know. Trust me. I know. The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat follows a trio of best friends known as the Supremes, but it's not the Supremes. They're just known as the Supremes, who for decades has weathered life's storms together through marriage and children and happiness and blues. Anjanae Ellis Taylor, Sanaa Lathan, and playing a younger version of her is Tati Gabrielle, Uzo Abuda, Mikkel Pfeiffer, and Julian McMahon are in this. fucking stat cast. The movie looks like a feel good movie. Maybe not feel good. It looks like a pretty heavy drama, honestly. Maybe not that heavy. I don't know. It comes out on Hulu Friday. Hellhole. This looks fun. If I get Shudder, I'll watch this. Centers on an American-led fracking crew that uncovers a living French soldier frozen in time from a Napoleonic. Is that a word? Sounds oddly or almost racist. Napoleonic. Am I having a stroke? Napoleonic campaign whose body hosts a parasitic monster. Fuck this show. This is on Shudder Friday. It looks like a really fun movie. Check out the trailer for Hellhole. Also streaming this week is... I don't have it up here, but fuck it. I don't watch it anyway. The 90s Show Part 3 will be on Netflix Thursday. Pachinko, which I haven't watched any of yet, but their second season starts on Apple TV Plus Friday. The only reason I'm going to try this is because it's highly rated online, but while I was sick, I watched all of Slow Horses, and I have to say, great show. I'll talk about it in the future. Apple TV Plus makes excellent television, so I'm going to check this out. Apple TV Plus Friday. First season's already on Apple TV Plus. Reasonable Doubt returns. I don't watch this show, but this is coming back on Hulu Thursday. City of God, The Fight Rages On, a sequel series to the movie City of God. If you haven't seen it, it is one of the best movies ever made. It's not one of my favorites, but it's one of the best movies ever made for sure. You can rent it. This will be on Max Sundays. And last but certainly not least, The Frog will be hitting on Netflix Friday. It's about, in a remote countryside pension, the owner rents a room to a ghostly woman who arrives as a guest. After her arrival, cracks appear in the tranquility of everyday life as the supernatural world starts to take over the house. I watched the trailer. It looks pretty good. All right. Looks good. All right. What am I watching this week? I'm going to go see The Crow. I'm going to go see in theaters Thursday. I'm going to go see Blink Twice, which is in theaters Thursday. I'm going to watch The Killer, which hits Peacock Friday. I'm going to watch Incoming, which hits Netflix Friday. And I'll watch at least an episode of Pachinko, which new episodes start on Apple TV Plus Friday as well. Holy shit, that was a long episode. I'm sorry, but thank you. And don't forget to hit like. Do not forget to hit share. And please do not forget to hit subscribe. Thank you. Aren't you happy it's over? I'm so happy.